Well, good morning, brothers and sisters. Today we're looking at Proverbs 27. Really want to draw our attention to one verse, but to some degree two verses. Proverbs 27:2, let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. And then again in Proverbs 27, I think it's verse 21, the crucible is for silver, the furnace is for gold, and a man is tested by his praise. Have you ever heard the phrase, don't toot your own horn, or let your actions speak for themselves? Those are all different kind of cliche sayings that are echoing the sentiment in this proverb. And the proverb is basically saying this. It's not saying that all praise is bad, or recognition is bad, or drawing attention to someone is bad. That's actually not the issue. The issue is not praise, affirmation, or recognition. The issue in the proverb is revealing a self-centered heart that draws attention to itself in order to get praise. And one of the ways that we can do that as sinners who are by nature prideful and full of ourselves is tell others how great we are. The old hymn that we sing in church is how great thou art, not how great we are. And yet, how often throughout our lives do we go fishing for compliments? We don't necessarily ask for feedback with always the right motives in mind. We sometimes can couch conversations and couch questions in such a way that kind of sets us up for others to say great things about us. And guys, let's just even acknowledge it. It feels good to be talked well of. It feels good to have others, you might say, sing your praises or, talk well of you. That shouldn't surprise us, right? But the dangers behind applause and praise is that if we're feeding our flesh and our self-centered pride, praise and acclamation and credit and recognition, it's going to lead to our downfall. And so the proverb here is saying, let your actions speak for themselves. You don't need to toot your own horn. You don't need to tell everyone how great you are. You don't need to make a name for yourself. If you're worth praising, if I am worth paying attention to, the Lord will see fit to show others what He is doing in and through our life. And so, brothers and sisters, just ask yourself this question, just even this week. Have you found yourself telling others how good you are at something? Taking pride in how clean you are, how organized you are, how smart you are, how educated you are, how experienced you are, how you have more self-control, how you make better decisions, how you are wiser. Has that been the testimony of you and I this past week? Do we find ourselves puffing ourselves up even through those kind of subtle comments that we may say to someone that we trust behind closed doors? I would do this, I would do that, I am better, I am this, I am that. And the reality is, guys, is even if God has so prospered, made us successful, or blessed us with fill in the blank, the ultimate praise and glory goes to Him anyway. And so when people do praise us or thank us or share with us what they appreciate about us, we should say thank you. We should be humbled that God has shown His kindness and grace to us and through us, and has done it in such a way that others notice. But at the end of the day, as Christians, we really have no ultimate boast except in the Lord. Let the one who boasts boast in me, that he knows me, declares the Lord. And so, friend, as you think about this past week, as you think about the day you and I are about to live, do we find ourselves fishing for compliments? Do we find ourselves tooting our horn? Do we find ourselves putting ourselves in the greatest possible limelight in all conversations? I think it was John MacArthur, said, beware of men who are heroes of all their stories. And I would say the same is true for men or women, boy or girl. If we're going to speak about ourselves, we don't have to speak poorly of ourselves, but we shouldn't speak much about ourselves where we are put up as the best or the example or the one that gets the attention. If we are worth noting, if we are worth recognizing, the Lord will see fit to show others what he is doing in and through our lives. Otherwise, we should not speak praises about ourselves, pass out our proverbial resume, make a name for ourselves, as the Proverbs says. And I think also Proverbs 27:21 is a really interesting text. You know how the Lord tests our hearts? Proverbs 17:3, the crucibles for silver, the furnaces for gold, and the Lord tests hearts. Well, even in verse 21, it says, and the man is tested by his praise. Brothers and sisters, sometimes God reveals in our hearts what we're truly made of and what's really there. Not only through times of persecution, correction, accusation, challenges, etc., but also praise and success. And so today, may the Lord give each one of us humble hearts, and may we be restrained from talking and thinking and speaking well of ourselves in order to make us the hero in all the stories. May we be humble, decreasing, hiding in the shadow of the cross, and even if others praise us and they say great things about us, we should say thank you. And then we should also give praise to God, because we know that's only possible by the grace of God. God bless.